Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of DHA Talks, where we go one-on-one with our manufacturers, talk product facts, answer industry questions, and host special guest interviews. Today, we will have a one-on-one interview with Wapro. When it comes to flooding, Wapro has ingenious and cost-effective solutions. Wapro understands municipalities' challenges as they have developed products to help solve them. Some of the solutions that Wapro can have for some municipalities are tidal or river backflow protection, flow regulation, flood protection, and odor mitigation. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce everyone to Gabe Lederman, the Northeast Regional Territory Manager for Wapro. How you doing today, Gabe? Welcome to the show.
Ryan, thank you so much for having me here. I'm really looking forward to this episode of DHA Talks. I'm sure it's going to be a fun one.
So let's get right into it, Gabe. As you know, when it comes to flood risk, New Jersey has the unfortunate distinction of leading the nation in several categories. For the last 27 years, sea levels have risen approximately 4 inches. High tide flood has increased in 50% in the last 20 years. And by 2035, nearly 170 coastal communities in the U.S. are projected to experience flooding more than 26 times per year. That directly affects many of New Jersey municipalities, and that's why we want to talk to you today about how Wapro can assist and mitigate some of the consequences of increased flood hazards for these towns and their municipalities. So, Gabe, let's briefly talk about some of the problems and challenges that towns might be facing with older infrastructure and impact that this flooding will have on their communities. Do you want to touch a little bit on that?
So yeah, Ryan, you bring up a great point, especially in communities where older infrastructure is in the ground, where we could have older pipes and different types of materials of pipes, pipe corrosions, even having inlets and structures that are compromised that need to be replaced or repaired. These are all problems that communities face that have older infrastructure, and incorporating backflow prevention and the WaStop Inline Check Valve is a great way to help to try and protect some of that older infrastructure.
So, Gabe, what are some of the expenses associated with flooding?
People don't even think of a lot of the expenses that are associated with flooding. You see the everyday problems of, sunny day flooding where we have high tides coming in and causing street flooding with no rain event. And we have local businesses that need to close. It puts an economic burden on the community. Schools have to close. The community has to send out public works to close roads, open roads. Flooding causes problems for emergency vehicles to pass through. So lots of different things that communities experience that are associated with flooding. And all of these things all have an expense associated with them, from the community all the way up to the government of the local community.
So everybody wants to know about solutions, Gabe. What are some of the solutions that Wapro can offer some of these municipalities?
Absolutely, Ryan. So Wapro does offer a few products. We're going to talk about, I believe the WaStop Inline Check Valve would be what we're going to talk about the most here. But we also have the WaReg flow regulator, as well as the WaBack non-return chamber, also both used for flow regulation and backflow prevention. But I think today we're going to stick with the topic of the WaStop Inline Check Valve.
The ingenious WaStop Inline Check Valve. Let's talk about it a little bit here, Gabe.
Sure, Ryan. So I happen to have a WaStop valve here with me, and it's really a very simple design. We have water that flows through the valve in one direction. When water flows through the valve opens. When the water stops flowing through the valve closes, and thereby prevents any water from flowing back up the pipe. So yes, it's a very simple and effective design as well as a solution.
So tell us a little bit about the key features.
Sure, Ryan. The WaStop valve has a lot of great features. We have low head loss. We have the pulsating flow. We have the light weight of the valve. Lots of key features, and I believe as we talk a little bit more, we'll touch on a lot of those in a little bit more detail.
So Gabe, another big question that's often brought up, head loss. What kind of head loss are we looking at here with the WaStop Inline Check Valve? Want to touch on that?
So yeah, Ryan, head loss really is an important aspect when it comes to stormwater inline check valves. When we look at the valve, we need to understand that this valve is going to be inserted into a pipe. So any restriction in the actual ID of that pipe is going to constrict the flow of water that's able to leave the pipe. So with the WaStop check valve being only 3 millimeters thick in the stainless steel body, from its smallest 4-inch valve all the way up to our larger sizes, the pipe constriction is going to be very minimal. So you're going to have a greater flow of water through the valve. The other nice key feature is that the valve, when it's in full flow, does open to almost 90% of the actual inside diameter of the valve body. This also does contribute to a lower head loss. Each one of our valves, when we do provide technical information, each one of our valves does have a head loss chart right on the technical specification. So that information will be readily available for the engineer, for the community, for the owner actually to be able to see as well. So all of that information is right there. We have done extensive testing on the head loss of the WaStop valve. We have done independent third-party testing at the Utah State University at their water research laboratory. All of those documents are readily available on our website to be viewed. So if there is any question as to how those head loss calcs are determined, all of that information is right there for everybody to see.
Wow, Gabe, those are some really, really good points. Some of them I didn't even think of. Now, I know the viewers are going to be excited to hear about WaStop's backflow prevention. That's what we're all here for. You want to touch on that a little bit for us?
Absolutely, Ryan. Backflow protection. From your largest box culverts to your smallest residential storm drains, Wapro has a WaStop valve for just about any solution. Any kind of situation where backflow is a problem, Wapro will have a WaStop valve for that application. From a stainless steel valve to a PVC valve, from a standard valve to a custom fabricated valve, Wapro really does have the solution for the application.
All right, tell us a little bit about how the WaStop compares to other valves in the market.
Absolutely, let's jump right into that. So right away, I'll throw a couple of key points out there. We talked about it a little bit before in terms of the head loss. The WaStop valve does have the lowest head loss of any inline check valve on the market. The stainless steel body does offer a very lightweight material for the valve. So when it comes to transportation costs and cost of installation, the type of equipment that is used to do an installation, our valves being a half to a third of the weight of our competitors' valves really makes an impact throughout the entire course of the project. And not to mention our delivery times. Our delivery times are among the best in the industry.
How easy is it actually to install a WaStop inline check valve?
Ryan, that's a great question. Everybody wants to know about installing a check valve. Well, let's touch on a couple of points that we touched on earlier. The lightweight of the valve. So this is going to minimize the amount of manpower, the amount of equipment, and those other things that are associated with the installation of a product. The nice thing about the WaStop inline check valve is that when you install the valve, it slides directly into the hose pipe. And the conical gasket here creates the seal. And this mounting tab that comes with the valve gets attached directly to a head wall or other type of structure. Let's say it's an inlet, anywhere else where the valve would be installed. And that's it. That conical gasket creates the seal, so you're ensured that you're not going to get any leaking between the valve body and the actual ID of the pipe. Wapro does have a certified contractor program, so we do work with contractors To ensure that they know the best methods to install our valves, they are presented with a certificate so that when they do go out to end users to show that they can install the valves, that is all right there. They're trained, they're certified, and they know exactly what's going on. So a great incentive for contractors and a great incentive for municipalities to know that they're contracting with somebody who knows how to install the valves properly.
All right, Gabe. Given the fact that municipalities are generally budget conscious, what are we looking at as far as maintenance is concerned and the cost of ownership? You want to touch a little bit on that?
Yes, maintenance, everybody's nemesis. One of the key features of the WaStop valve, the pulsating flow, is actually going to help minimize maintenance. So what that actually means is that because we do require a little bit of head pressure behind the valve to actually get the valve to open, what that does is it creates a pulsating effect. When the valve opens, you get like a scouring effect that forces everything out of the valve from upstream as well as downstream. So if you have debris that accumulates at the outlet of your pipe, when the valve does open, that rush of water will help to clean that area out. So it'll help to minimize maintenance in that way. And then again, the overall total cost of ownership, from the cost of the valve to the installation of the valve to the maintenance of the valve, the Wapro valve is going to offer the lowest overall cost of ownership over its expected lifespan, which is 25 years. And in those 25 years, one of the other great features of the WaStop valve is that it does not emit any microplastics out into the environment. So especially when we're working along those coastal communities where plastics in the ocean and plastics in our waterways is a huge concern, you can count on the Wapro valve, the WaStop Inline Check Valve, to not contribute to any of that other environmental concerns that are out there.
Hey, keeping that cost low, that's what everyone's looking for. All right, so sizing of pipe, Gabe. I know there's a bunch of different types of pipe, sizes. I know you guys do a great job in customizing and doing different things. Talk to me a little bit about the sizes of the valves that you guys offer.
Yes, Ryan, you're absolutely right. It's really exciting when you can see new sizes going into our repertoire, larger sizes being added. When I first started at Wapro, we didn't have an 80-inch valve as our largest standard production size valve. Now we do. We also do larger, from 4-inch all the way up to 80 inches, as I said, in stainless steel, and in PVC from 3-inch up to 12-inch, and all different sorts of custom fabrication. That's the great thing about Wapro is that if you have a pipe and you're having backflow through it, chances are we can provide a solution. Whether it's an elliptical pipe, a box culvert, really, we want to be faced with those types of challenges, not for just your, round, normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill pipe, but, we like those challenging projects where we have to look at larger box culverts and elliptical pipes where these things become challenging. So yes, our size range is great and our standard sizes from 4-inch to 80-inch, but it's those really intricate pieces that really, define what Wapro is about.
Hey, that's amazing with the sizing customization that you guys could do, Gabe, because not many manufacturers can replicate that, Yeah. All right, Gabe. Supply chain constraints, a big issue right now in the industry. So what kind of lead times are we looking at with Wapro and all the beautiful WaStop inline check valves?
Yes, supply chain constraints. What a great way to put it, Ryan. Absolutely. Everybody's struggling with this, from our industry to supermarkets to everywhere. Wapro is very fortunate. Wapro has positioned itself in the market where we currently to date have up to 48-inch diameter check valves in stock in our warehouse in Florida for immediate shipment. Anything else, custom products that would have to be manufactured right now, we're looking at about 6 to 7 weeks of manufacturing time on custom products. So looking at the overall scheme of things in terms of supply chain, Wapro feels like we're in a really good position to be able to deliver the products that our customers need when they need them. Also understanding that a lot of times the check valve is going to be the last thing that's put in on a job, and it may be overlooked at times. Being able to deliver the product, quickly for our customers is a very, very important piece of the way we do business.
Oh, and one of my favorite things that you guys offer, the 4-month free trial for municipalities. No brainer. I mean, talk to me a little bit about this free trial, Gabe.
Absolutely, Ryan. Your enthusiasm is great. I love it. So yes, the Wapro 4-month trial period for our municipal customers. If backflow and flooding is a problem in your community, Wapro wants to help. And we understand, as we talked a little bit earlier about being budget conscious and wanting to know that you're going to get the best value for the money that you spend. Wapro will put its money where its mouth is and say that we will supply you, the municipality, with the check valve from 4-inch up to 36 inches in diameter for up to 4 months. We would provide on-site supervision of the installation. And then once the valve is installed, the community will have up to 4 months to actually see that valve operate in real world conditions. So 4 months of high tide, storm surge, river flooding, you name it, 4 months to see the WaStop valve protect your community. And at the end of that 4 months, if the WaStop valve did not perform to the way that it was designed to perform, Wapro will take the valve back and there will be no cost to the municipality. If at the end of the 4 months, the municipality finds that the valve is functioning as it was designed to do, there is a reduction in the amount of flooding, then the municipality would be satisfied with the operation of the valve, they would purchase the valve and the valve would remain in place. So there you have it. The valve works, you keep it. The valve doesn't work, we take it back. And in all honesty, I have not gotten one trial valve back because they do simply work.
I mean, Gabe, no risk, free trial. I mean, to me, it's pretty clear. I'd be jumping all over this. So, Wapro, reliable solutions, ease of installation, low maintenance, and very quick lead times. We here at Dave Heiner Associates are very proud to represent Wapro. Gabe, thank you so much for joining us today in another episode of DHA Talks. We loved having you. We love your energy and your insightful information on your great product.
Thank you, Ryan. It was really great to be here. Always love being a part of what you guys put together, and hopefully I can be a part of more of these. And for those of you out there watching, I'm really looking forward to getting out there with Ryan and meeting you guys. And one of the other incentives out there, don't forget, is that DHA is a WBE. So when those projects call for those WBE incentives, be sure to get in touch with Ryan to find out how we can help with meeting those goals as well. Ryan, again, thank you so much for having me here. And I'm really looking forward to seeing more of these DHA talks. They're a lot of fun.
Thank you, everybody, for watching today's episode of DHA Talks. If you have any questions or would like some more information on that 4-month free trial, give us a call at the office today or visit our website. And we will see you on the next episode of DHA Talks. Take care, everyone.